Hello and welcome to Gridiron Gurus. My name is Luke, and that is.
Ryan Green.
And today we're doing our first episode, kind of new setup. No longer in person. We're doing it virtually, so we can start uploading on YouTube. Maybe do some TikTok stuff, but also I think it'll sound a little bit better. It'll probably feel a little bit better. You can see our beautiful faces now. So it'll be a different format, but I like this. I think it's going to be really good. I'm going to like this a lot more. So today we're going to be doing I guess this will be our first prediction video for we did all the breakdowns for the season, obviously. But now we're going to be doing our award predictions for the season. So we'll do MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive and Defensive Rookies, Coach of the Year, and then Comeback Player of the Year. So we'll get it started. I think we were choosing the same MVP. We talked a little bit beforehand, and last week we talked a little bit about this episode. I think we're going to choose the same MVP. So we'll go ahead and start with that. I'm taking Josh Allen.
I'm taking Josh Allen as well.
Yeah. I think he's going to have a lot of touchdowns. Obviously, I think he's solidified himself as the second best quarterback in the NFL. And last year, the offense went a little more run heavy, which honestly could help him a little bit because, I think it'll keep his interception count a little lower than it has been. And also, he's going to rush for I think he's going to rush for 12 to 13, 14 touchdowns this year. He could have a Cam Newton type season, from when Cam went for 15 touchdowns on the ground, something like that.
His rookie year, he went 14, and then.
Well, a Super Cam 2015.
Yeah. Super Cam, he had less touchdowns, but he had more rushing yards. I think.
Yeah, I think he could. I think Josh Allen could easily go for 30 touchdowns and then 15 rushing, with 4,000 passing yards and 700, 800 rushing yards, and that should be more than enough on a team that I think is going to be pretty good. And also, for the first time in his career, he has the narrative, because MVP is very narrative driven, and he lost Diggs, and now everyone's kind of out on the Bills. I'm not out on the Bills. I know you're not out on the Bills, but
I made a video. Yeah, I made a video I think either the day after when Stephon Diggs left, because a lot of people were just all up in arms, and I was no, they've got players, and it forces them to, instead of trying to facilitate two Diggs, that he gets to pass it out, which should make him more efficient.
They have the most vacated targets in the NFL. It's 250 or something like that, which is crazy. But they have good playmakers. Obviously, they drafted Dalton Kincaid not this year, but the year previous, first-round tight end. He's going to be good. They drafted Keon Coleman, basically a first-round pick 33. They have Khalil Shakir. They signed. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking.
They got him 2 years ago from Boise State. Yeah, he was Boise State.
They signed. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on his name.
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, their offensive line is solid enough.
Yeah, they still have Dawson Knox too, so that helps out too.
He's hurt though to start the year, right?
Yeah,
no, he was hurt to end the year. Yeah,
but he's still recovering. So, but him and Dalton Kincaid give you two tie-in sets that I think Joe Brady's going to utilize pretty well.
Because they ran the ball a lot last year. Obviously, James Cook's a good runner. So, I think this offense is going to be good. He's going to put up numbers because he's Josh Allen. And he's going to do he's going to have some insane plays where it's blows up Twitter and everyone's oh my gosh, is he the MVP? And if the Bills go 11-6, win the AFC East, and are a top 3 seed, and then maybe Mahomes has a really good year too, but if they're a top 2 to 3 seed in the AFC, I think he'll probably win it, because I think he's going to put up really good numbers, and everyone's going to be oh, well, coming into the season, we didn't think the Bills had that good weapons, and then all of a sudden, Kincaid's got 800 yards, Shakir's got 700 yards, Keon Coleman's got 750 yards. It's and it's all just a bunch of really solid players down the board. So I'm taking Josh Allen. You're taking Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Do you want to give your offensive player of the year now?
Yes, I can. So mine is going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am really high on the Lions, and usually whoever's doing really good that year is going to win it. And so it's usually either a running back, or it might be a wide receiver. Every now and then there's a quarterback, but you had Christian McCaffrey win it last year, then Justin Jefferson won it the year before. I think Amon-Ra is going to have a really good year, and considering that you're going to be on one of the best teams, it's high likely you'll be able to win offensive rookie of the year. There's offensive player of the year. There's a couple of different ones that could win it, but most of them I think are about going to be quarterbacks, and they're going to try to do it more so a running back or a wide receiver award. So
Yeah, he's going to put up a lot of numbers and be on a really good team. Which you're high on the Lions on this award. I might be high on the Lions on another award. Who knows? But my offensive player of the year is going to be Tyreek Hill.
that's good.
He might have won it last year. Did he win it the year before?
No, remember that was Justin Jefferson because that's when the
Jefferson. Oh, yeah.
Vikings like had a really good year, and Jefferson had like that fourth and what was it, 18 or something like
Yeah,
that.
one-handed catch or whatever.
One-handed catch. So,
But
yeah.
like Tyreek Hill last year was on pace for almost 2,000 yards, and he got hurt. Obviously, they had a couple like rough games, but I feel very confident that if he has a full 17 game season, he's going to put up like 1,800 yards and like 15 touchdowns, and he's going to be probably like. I expect some regression from Christian McCaffrey. I expect like Justin Jefferson's going to be good, but I wonder about his like quarterback play, and like offensive player of the year is always going to be like it's the skill player because MVP is the quarterback award, offensive player of the year is the skill player award, and like I could see some other guys getting like a chance, like maybe a Brees Hall. Obviously, Amon-Ra I think will be up there for sure, but I think Tyreek Hill is going to like pick up where he was at the beginning of last year and kind of just go off. So. I'm taking Tyreek Hill. You're taking Amon-Ra. So we got two receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But that leads me, your Amon-Ra pick leads me to my defensive player of the year pick being Aiden Hutchinson.
Same exact thing here. Yep.
Oh, really? You took Aiden Hutchinson too?
Okay, so I was between Aiden Hutchinson and Max Crosby, and I'll give you my reasoning, but I want to hear about your Aiden Hutchinson take.
Also, before I say that real fast, I just got the notification on ESPN. Trent Williams 3-year, $82 million extension.
Let's freaking go, dude.
He $48 million at signing, and then 26 at signing bonus. That's kind of crazy. I don't know how they're getting this money, but that's a different discussion.
I don't know. They're finding a way.
So I literally got that as I was saying. I was like, oh my gosh, how? But so we're both taking Aiden Hutchinson. You want to start on that?
No. I was letting you say your take.
Okay.
I was going to talk about Max Crosby a little bit more too, because that's what
I almost picked
had.
I almost picked Max Crosby too. So Hutchinson is like, he had the highest like pressure percentage for his team last year. Like he had like 37% of their pressures or something like that. Crazy. It was much higher than any other normal pass rusher has. And I think that they upgraded the players around him well, especially in cornerback, like the cornerback room, Carlton Davis. They got Terrion Arnold. They got Missouri dude.
Rakestraw.
And
plus also year 2 for Brian Branch too.
Year 2 Brian Branch. They got DJ Reader is going to be huge in the interior. Like this run defense was awesome last year, but now I think you're going to get cornerbacks who can hold up a lot better on the outside. Aiden Hutchinson, I think, is in store for like 16 plus sacks minimum, in my opinion. Like, I think he's going to have a monster season, and the Lions are going to be contention for top seed in the NFC. They win 13 games. Sure. If they win 13 games, the defense is like top half of the NFL, and he's got 17 and a half sacks, and like he has like a bunch. He's probably going to be top 5 and sacks, top 3 in sacks. He'll be top like 3 in pressures, top 3 in tackles for loss, and he's going to be on a really good team. He's probably going to win the award. And like Max Crosby was going to be my second pick, but I just worried about the Raiders not being good enough to get like, I know defensive player of the year it's stupid that like, oh, team doesn't win enough, but like Max Crosby's could push for 20 sacks, but the Raiders could win 7 games, and he might not get it because of that.
Yeah. As I'm saying, if the Raiders do make the playoffs, then I'm gonna give it to Max Crosby. Same as the thing with like JJ Watt. Those couple of years, like where like the offense sometimes it was good, but sometimes like it was the defense that was just dragging the team to the playoffs. Like he obviously had like those historic seasons. Like I kind of see that if Max Crosby is able,
well, JJ was doing it on both sides, so
that's what I think too. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's always someone who makes the playoffs, and that's why I didn't put Max Crosby. But I'm like, he's gonna have a monster year. Same thing with Aiden Hutchinson, because both of them are monsters by themselves, and you're finally giving them some interior pressure. Like Aleem McNeil last year was still good, but he's not known as like the pass rusher. Even DJ Reader is not technically a pass rusher, but he's still like interior pressure. Like
he's
because
good.
like He's really staying good. Like, what was it? We talked about like 2 years ago. His his pressure from like the nose was like one of the best, like top 20 of the defensive tackles, which is
Yeah,
crazy from the nose.
he was
And
like
so like
something in 20 pressures of all defense tackles, not just noses. Like,
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's crazy. So like you put him with a McNeil with Aiden Hutchinson, like that's the reason why you put him you make him the a defensive player of the year because like I said, he should have 17 sacks. Um like I said, I'm interested to see how the younger guys are going to progress in that defense. Like obviously, like I was a big Jack Campbell fan. We were talking about Darren Turner Arnold, like if he has a really good rookie year to start off, like that secondary is dangerous. And so like you give him time, he's going to be able to get in 3 sacks. He's going to be able to get a sack. So
yeah,
that's the reason why Aiden Hutchinson is should be a lot of people's defensive player of the year, like award winner for
it's
sure.
normally going to go to like a defensive end. That's kind of it. Generally speaking, goes defensive end, but like there's a lot of guys. Obviously, Miles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, Aiden Hutchinson. There's a lot of really good edges in the NFL right now. So it was hard to pick one. I think like the top three was definitely for me Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, and T.J. Watt. I just think those three. Miles Garrett's obviously up there, but I expect the Browns defense to kind of step back a little bit this year. But
I'm also wondering if like because Aaron Donald won it so much and because JJ Watt won it so much, if they're trying not to do like unless it's like historic season, if they're trying to do like the same person wins over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I think
well,
that
TJ won
might
it twice,
also
didn't
hurt.
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I get they're spreading out the love a little bit. It also helped. Like TJ Watt hasn't been healthy in 2 years, like completely healthy in 2 years. So like I worry about him not being super healthy. Steelers probably won't be good enough in that division. I also worry about the Browns maybe not being good enough if they have to start a whole year with Watson.
I mean, both of them
But
have like brutal schedules.
yeah, so uh, that you want to go to offensive rookie of the year now? I'll let you
Oh
lead
yeah, we
with
can
that
go
one.
offensive good of the year.
I think we're gonna diff. No, we won't differ on offensive rookie of the year. We'll differ on
No,
defensive rookie of the year. Yeah. So your offensive rookie of the year, I'm guessing, is Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so in my mind, Chicago last year because their defense kind of came together. I'm expecting the same as I think to happen now. So like you're going to have more opportunities for Caleb Williams, and because they have a much better team overall, that's the reason why I had him over Jane Daniels. Jane Daniels is my second pick because I still think Jane Daniels will have a good year. That offensive line is going to kill him though, and that's why I can't go all the way into to picking
Yeah.
him. But Caleb Williams, I mean, you have the weapons for him, you have the defense to back him up. I'm not a fan of their coach, but like at the same exact time, that doesn't really matter for especially the rookies. I mean, you see it a lot of times. Some people don't really believe in Robert Saleh, but he had both rookie offensive rookie of the year and also defensive player of the year 2 years ago. So like
So did
I
Jimmy
think
Ryan's.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think that I'm gonna be honest. I think that Caleb Williams, unless like he gets hurt, I think he's gonna have a really good year. Maybe not the Bears don't make the playoffs. I don't have them make the playoffs, but if they get close, he's is a sweep. It's pretty easy. He's
Yeah.
gonna get offensive rookie of the year.
He's walking into one of the best situations you could as a number one overall pick. He's got a triple or trio of receivers that are really good. He's got a solid tight end. I think the defense will be better. Like I think the defense was actually pretty solid the back half of the season. So, but he's just going to put up numbers. And like the only other guy I think really honestly in contention, maybe besides Jaden Daniels, who I worry about as the Commanders. That offensive line's bad. He's really only got Terry McLaurin now as a weapon. And then I think Malik Neighbors could also put up crazy numbers. So would Marvin Harrison, but like Malik Neighbors is going to be force fed targets. Like he has nobody else to worry about in that offense. So like Neighbors is a guy who I could honestly see putting up like 1,400 yards as a rookie. And if he does that, it might be pushing it, even though they're always going to default to quarterback. Like when Kyler won it over Josh Jacobs. Jacobs should have won that award. But
Yeah, for me with Mid League Neighbors, I'm just worried about one, you have to get him the ball to begin with, and two, I think teams are going to be keying on him, and they're not going to trust Daniel Jones. So they're probably going to double team Malik Neighbors more often than not.
man,
So
you're
it's going to
forgetting
be very
about Ben
hard.
DiNucci, man. How quickly we forget.
Yeah, how I quickly forget about the Nooch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I am not very high on the Giants this year, so it'd be very surprising if Malik Neighbors is able to
Yeah.
pull anything out of a good rookie season.
I just think he's going to be force fed, is like all.
Yeah,
But, it'll be, Carson Beck throwing to him will look pretty good next year. So that won't be the worst thing ever. But now we get the defensive rookie of the year. I'll start with mine. I'm taking Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle from Seattle. I was really high on him coming out of the draft. He is really good, and man, his preseason, he looks so good. He just like kind of dominated, in my opinion, and he fits into that scheme perfectly. Now it's like the reason I'm picking him is like I think it's a weaker defensive rookie of the year class, in my opinion. Like just looking at it initially, like guys like Dallas Turner and those type guys could be really good. But I think as a rookie, he's gonna put up like 7 sacks on a Seattle defense that could be turned around. And if he's putting up like 7 sacks, like 12, 13 tackles for loss, and he'll have the steam on Twitter, because people are already tweeting about him. So like he'll have fan recognition as a first round pick. Like sometimes it's harder for those like later round people to like get the recognition they deserve, even if they're having really good seasons like Byron Young last year for the Rams. Didn't get the recognition he deserved. He honestly could have won Defensive Rookie of the Year if he had been a day one pick, probably. But
Kobe Turner was another good one
yeah,
too.
same guy like that. It's just
yeah,
like I think he'll have the fan recognition, the voter recognition, and I think he's going to put up really good stats in a defense that he like fit. Like they know his role. He's going to play the Justin Madubuike role. So I think he's going to have a really awesome season, and I'm really excited to watch him for like the next 10, 12 years.
absolutely, dude. I was high on him too. The other one that I was super duper high on as well is my cornerback one. That's Quinyon Mitchell. So here's my philosophy of as far as like what you said, fan recognition is a good idea, but also like playing on a really good team is another thing too that's going to be beneficial for him. So playing on the Eagles, I think they're going to have an amazing offense. So people are going to have to pass, and as long as he kind of stays like where I think he's going to be, is going to be like a really good shutdown corner. Maybe not like Sauce or what Patrick Surtain started out doing like their rookie year, but if he has like another good year and he gets like 4, even 5 picks. That's another thing that he did good in college. Like he could have another like offensive defense player, defensive rookie of the year because of those numbers, because he's on a really good team, and because you'll start having that some of that recognition. Because last year Eagles secondary was trash, and if they're good this year, he'll get some of that credit.
Yeah, it's just hard for rookie like corners to win, just because they have to be so shut down and if you're a really good corner, you're just not getting thrown at. So it's just like if you're going to be shut down, you might not have a lot of picks because you're just like they're not going to throw your way, so you don't have a lot of pass breakups, a lot of picks. But like he's going to be really good. I think he'll probably be the best rookie corner off the bat. He's going to be to a team that's going to be really good. Now we hit Coach of the Year. You give your Coach of the Year, and I'll give mine. I know who yours is, and you know who mine is. So
Mine's Dan Campbell.
yeah,
So obviously, like I think there's a chance that he doesn't win it, but I mean, I think he should be rewarded for like the stuff that he's been able to do. If he's able to get the Lions to where I think that they can, he's probably going to win Coach of the Year. But because of the fact like he didn't win it last year, I thought about him or D'Amico Ryan should have won it last year, but obviously went to Stefanski. Like I think that they might rectify it a little bit, so might look back at last season too. But the line's going to be a good year. We're going to have a good year, I think, because of the fact that you have other players like you have Aiden Hutchinson winning it, you have um, Amon-Ra St. Brown winning it. I think just that together kind of makes it be like this coach is like elevating his team to
yeah,
to the Super Bowl. I'm going to say they're part of my Super Bowl prediction. Um, I think they're going to win it, but I could see someone who might turn around a team more that's probably going to win it because that's usually what happens is that it's someone who turns around a team like Brian Dable from before, Kevin Stefanski from last year. Like, so it's probably going to be something like that. But I'm picking Dan Campbell because he should have won it last
Yeah.
year.
No, D'Amico Ryan should have won it last year. Oh, so
Debatable, but yes.
but my pick is D'Amico. I wanted to differ a little bit. Yeah, I think we had too many Lions on this list. Obviously, we're both high on the Lions, but my pick's D'Amico. I think obviously he doesn't have like the surprise factor of the Texans suck and now they're going to be really good. But I think the Texans are going to win this division. And after what I saw from Anthony Richardson, I'm not as scared of the Colts as I was. So I think the Texans could get to 12 wins on the season. And so I think if they get to like 12 wins and the defense is good and the offense is really good and they're a top 2 seed, I think it's still like, the Texans are still only in like the second year of like this rebuild type thing. And they had a lot more expectations, but still, this was a bad team 2 years. Like literally this time last year, we were all talking about this team. Are they even going to win 4 games?
Yeah.
So like, it's still not like same thing. Dan Campbell last year had a lot of expectations, and he still got a lot of votes. So I think D'Amico is like the Texans are going to be a good team. They're going to win the division, and he's still like a young enough into his tenure where it's like, this team he's overachieving with what he has. So
I agree with that. Like I said, I think both of them should have been in the running for last year. I think if both of them have really good seasons, I think it's kind of a toss up between both of them because like historically bad franchises finally getting into the limelight of like these are actually contenders. Like they should get at least the top 3 as far as a consideration for coach of the year.
Yeah. And then we got our comeback player of the year. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. He played 3 snaps last year. He's gonna come back. He's gonna put up good numbers. Like he's not gonna like win MVP or be like an All Pro or anything like that. But he's gonna put up good numbers. The Jets, I think it's just gonna be how night and day the Jets quarterback play is gonna be. It's gonna go from literally like the worst we've ever seen, maybe, to this is actually like top half of the NFL like quarterback play, and they are going to be a really good team, and they're going to win a lot of games, and he's going to put up some good numbers, and he's going to have some big games, and it's more like he's a 41-year-old coming back from an Achilles tear. Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to not give it to him. I know Joe Burrow's like a guy who's going to get a lot of votes, but he played more last year. He played like 8-9 games.
8 games, yeah.
Yeah, like he might be better on the season, but I think it's more impressive to me, Aaron Rodgers coming back if he has a good season.
Yeah, so I was thinking Aaron Rodgers too, but I thought because of the fact like a lot of people don't want to vote for him, that I think that's probably the reason why he's going to lose because that's always plays a factor in anything. Is you're going to have people who are like, I don't like Aaron Rodgers, so I'm not going to vote for him. Unfortunately, so mine is kind of like I think a lot of people are picking him, but I'm picking Anthony Richardson because to me, he's going to have so many wow plays that because he didn't play barely anything last year, except for like 3.5 games because he got injured that 4th game. Well, he came back and then he got injured again. I think because he has a lot of wow plays that people are going to be like, oh, he came back and he was like doing good, even if he had like just a subpar season, which I think he'll have a good season. Like a lot of people were expecting him to before preseason. A lot of people were like, oh, he's going to come back strong. He's going to be amazing. And I was like, no, he still has like a lot of work to do, but I still believe in Shane Steichen to be able to get that out of him. Maybe not this year, but I think he's going to make good strides. And because of that, people are going to be like, hey, he came back from his injury. He's still like, running for close to probably 800 yards or something like that. Like he's going to have, as long as he stays healthy, he should have like a decent season. And people are going to be like, we need to vote him as the comeback player of the year because he came back not really having a rookie season. So yeah, that's my reasoning for it.
I just think he's going to have a lot of mistakes and stuff. And it's just like he's a big name, but I think there's going to be bigger names like Burrow and Rodgers and stuff that maybe take away votes. And I get that Aaron Rodgers, no one likes to vote for him, which is just stupid. Like
it's dumb.
It's whatever. People hate him for a little unnecessarily, but now we can hit our Super Bowl predictions. So we'll just give the 2 teams that think are going to make the Super Bowl, and then our winner, like our before the season winner. You go first. I want to know who you have.
Okay, so I'm gonna have the upstart Lions trying to fend off the three-peat. So I have the Lions versus the Chiefs. And in my prediction, I have the Lions driving down late, scoring a field goal. So Jake Bates. And then the Chiefs going down the field, having to rely on Harrison Bucker to once again just let it like go into overtime, and he misses, which he never does in the Super Bowl. And so there'll be a whole narrative is like the Lions finally winning it. They stop the three-peat, and then now there starts being this buildup of like, okay, the Lions are a young team. Could they potentially be the next dynasty? And that's like that storyline that goes on for the off season.
Yeah, I'm going with the same thing. I've got I've got Lions over Chiefs. It's just hard for me to pick against the Chiefs coming out of the AFC
Yeah.
until someone does it. Like I think the AFC is really congested at the top. Obviously, the Chiefs are like they won the Super Bowl last year, but they didn't like look at like an elite team, and they still aren't like some team that I'm like, oh, this is like incredibly elite. So like I still have a hard time picking the AFC, so I'm just gonna default with the Chiefs until further notice. And then the Lions, I think they are going to be like the most explosive offense in the AFC or NFC, and I just like the story of the Lions. And they're going to play in a lot of domes, and if they get home field advantage, like if they get the 1 seed, and they have Jared Goff in a dome, entire home field, and obviously Super Bowl's in a dome, that's going to like work because he played significantly better in a dome. And I think that, this is probably the last year that they have offense coordinator. I'm blanking on names right
Ben
now,
Johnson.
man. Ben Johnson. I think it's last year, Ben Johnson. They're going to go out like and he's going to win a Super Bowl for the Lions. I don't have like a prediction of how it's going to happen or anything. We're both picking the Lions as our preseason team, and then they're obviously going to be terrible this season because we picked them. So,
well, they would have to have a lot of injuries for sure. Knock on wood. I honestly think that if the Lions win a Super Bowl, then both Aaron Glenn, because the defense will be very good, and then he'll be like part of like a culture builder. He'll be gone, and both Ben Johnson will be gone. I think that's the reason why Ben Johnson came back is because he knew that hey, we have a chance at the Super Bowl. If I go to a head coaching job that's going to suck, like I might not get this opportunity ever again. So I think that's mainly the reason why he came back. He came back last year to prove like, hey, it's not a 1 year thing. Lions made all the way to the NFC Championship game, and then this year, if they win the Super Bowl, like him, Aaron Glenn, and Dan Campbell will be forever remembered in Detroit.
yeah.
Like I don't think like there's like that like kind of coordinator, maybe like Bill Belichick for the Giants, but like it's very hard for like you to think about like a coordinator that's like synonymous with a team, like maybe like Spags for like Kansas City, but like to
Kansas
be
City.
like that, yeah, like to be like that to a team, I think that's something that Ben Johnson might value. So
yeah, so the Lions are going to be really good. That is that's our predictions for the season. We can look back on this in like 6 months and see how terribly off we are on every single one of these awards. We can see that the Chiefs end up winning 2 games this season, and the Lions won 5, and we look like idiots by week 5.
don't forget Drake May wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's probably
Is he the starter?
No, Jacoby Brissett is because
Okay,
they don't want him to die behind the offensive line.
Yeah, the offensive line is awful.
Yeah.
But that's our prediction video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye.